Look, our story began with goodness. In the beginning, he says, it is good. It was all very good. Our story begins with goodness. It begins with love. It begins with grace. And it begins with a personal creator. And that's what everything is going towards. That's why the whole plan of redemption. Okay? So in other words, we're created for romance. We're absolutely created for romance, and you know it. And you know it in so many different ways. Like for me, one of the ways that this haunting, this wisp comes in, and I know that there's something more, it's silly, but it's a Colorado fall. Evening, the sun's going down, and the blues turn into gold, and then the gold turns into dark of night, and night comes. And there's something about the air. And I know that I'm more than just atoms. Or how about a kiss that tastes like strawberries from your wife? Or how about reading a line of poetry, and for some reason, 3 or 4 of the words just hit you, and you just want to eat those words? See, and for some of us, it's music. You can hear something, and you get goosebumps up and down your spine. And you got to hear it again. I got to hear it again. And what do? You go and you take it to a friend. You got to listen to this. You got to listen to this. Listen, and you want to share it. And it's like a haunting of a home that you've never been to, okay? It's like you're being called forward, but to some place that is in your past that you've never been, which is a strange thing. C.S. Lewis called it Sehnsucht. It's a German word for inconsolable longing. It's actually a word that like mixtures of addiction and longing. It's so intense, it's like an addiction. You know we were meant for romance. See, I don't know what it is with you, but there's certain things that stir your soul in a way that nothing else can, and you go, oh, that's my paradise. That's my Eden. And if you have that hunger, and if you have that desire, then there's got to be something that fulfills that. We ache for our origin. But here's where the story gets really good. Even though we go from romance to wreckage to rescue to restoration, that restoration and that rescue happens even in Genesis. It's alluded to, and it starts even there. Remember I said the whole thing is about Jesus? Genesis 3:15. It just blows me away. Genesis 3:15. Actually, let me start at 14. Give it some context. Now, this is after the fall, and God's talking to Adam and Eve and the serpent. And he says, because you've done this, cursed are you above all livestock and above all beasts of the field. On your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. How cryptic and weird is that, if this book isn't about Jesus? What in the world does this mean? If we don't know this about Jesus, we read through this and go, this doesn't make any sense. This is a bunch of bunk. Give me something practical that I can eat on. I want to chew on something real. This is just fluff. Listen, let me read this to you again. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. This, my friends, is the collision of two narratives. He's saying, this is how it's meant to be, and this is your new false story, which is a bunch of crap. And this, the father of lies over here, who's telling you this story, and me, someday, we're going to collide, and we're going to see which worldview actually wins. But here's the thing. When we do it, my ambassador is going to look like he takes the hit and he's done. But suddenly the tables are turning, and actually it was just his heel that was hurt, and your head is crushed. What? What happened on the cross? It looked like Jesus lost. That's what happened, right? Oh, if you're God, save yourself. Prophesy, who's hitting you? King of the Jews? You've lost. Really? Turns out he won. He won in his weakness. That's how great our God is. He won through weakness.